nothing can separate. Even if I ran away, your love never fails. No, I still make mistakes, but you have new mercies for me every day, because your love never fails. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me, because your love never fails. Wind is strong and the water's deep, but I'm not alone here in these open seas, because your love never fails. The chasm was far too wide. I never thought I'd reach the other side. Your love never fails. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me, because your love never fails. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. But you make all things work together for my good. But you make all things work together for my good. But you make all things work together for my good. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me, because your love never fails. Because your love never fails. Because your love never fails.
Brilliant. How good is that, hey? Who's excited that we serve a God whose love never fails, hey? You guys can take a seat. He can turn our circumstances around for good, hey? Beautiful, love it. Well, welcome to Redgum Church this morning, guys. So glad to see all your beautiful faces this morning, and a big hello and welcome to our Redgum family online, wherever you are, all over the nation, all over the world. We've got people obviously tuning in today, internationally as well, who are very much a part of our Redgum family. So as I said, big warm welcome. Great to have you guys a part of the service. Fantastic. Well, I'm excited that we could even have church today, given the circumstances of the week we've just had. Hey, what a crazy, crazy week. Not having power since, I think it was Tuesday. I think the storms came through, and some of us, I know us out at Lucknow, we were only, I think, out of power for about 24 hours or so didn't do it too tough. But I think some people out at Meetung, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're out from that way, do they still not have power at the moment? They didn't yesterday. They got it back last night. There you go. So 5 days without power. That is just hectic, isn't it? And did anyone get caught out not having candles at all? Like, no, everyone's more prepared, obviously, than us. Only family in the whole of Bairnsdale. So obviously, we've just torch. I didn't even think of that. How stupid's that? But we got stuck without candles because we've just moved into a brand new house, and so some things are still packed away. And when you're moving to a new house, the last thing you think of is actually candles. So it actually came Tuesday night. It came 9:30. We're in the dark, and we're thinking we don't have any candles. And so we started searching around, and luckily enough, we found a couple of really nice scented candles that we got given as a warming present for our new place. And so we ended up lighting all of these, and if you came into our place at like 9:30 at night, you would have walked into this intoxicating feminine smell of lavender, vanilla bean and pomegranate. Lovely. I've never been in such a feminine smelling environment in my life. I literally, walking around the house, you could literally feel my testosterone turning into estrogen the more time I spent in this house. So it just reeked. But as you can tell, I've got my testosterone back. My beard has grown since Tuesday, at least a couple of mils, so I'm okay. But it was a crazy week. And look, on a serious note, some people did do it tougher than others during that week. And so, our hearts do go out to you. But we got through it, thank God. And hopefully, we don't have that happen again. So tough weeks, but hey, glad that we're even at church and we've got power to have church this morning. Hey, it's a good thing. Fantastic. Well, we've got, I'm going to get Lex up in a second. He's just got an announcement for the prayer ministry weekend coming up in a couple of weeks. But before we do that, we've got a few birthdays to celebrate. And when I say a few, I mean a lot. I think there's like about 10 of them at the moment. So to make sure I don't forget, got a list here. We've actually got a few that are having a birthday today as well. I think, where's Ellie? Ellie's around here somewhere. There she is up the back. He's actually having a birthday, 11th birthday today, as well as Tamika, where's she? Yes, I think, how old are you, Tamika? 12? No, that's your maturity age. How old are you at your biological age, though? 19. Acts like an 11, 12-year-old, but he's actually 19. So well done. Awesome. 2 there. Their birthdays today. Then I've also got, let me just get up here. Coral gave me the message. All right, we've got Shana, who also turned 11. Happy birthday, Shana. Melody turned 12. And then we've got the more mature of age here, who didn't give me an age, what they're turning. We've got Stephen Bradbury. Sarah Schneider had a birthday this week. Jeff Wigney as well, looking fantastic for 85 up the back there, isn't he? He's still got it in the hips, the gyration. I see it there, a 40-year-old. It's fantastic while he's on the bass. Brilliant, mate. Then we've got some people online as well. We've got Colleen Major and Brett McCrimmon as well. So I think happy birthday to all those guys. Sorry if I've missed anyone else, but a whole ton load in there. So I hope you guys had a great week and a great day today for those of you that are celebrating today. Awesome. Lex, over to you.
Okay, so a couple of little things. With the prayer ministry training weekend, which is not in a couple of weeks, but next Friday, Aaron, just in 5 days. Yeah. Publicly corrected. I can do that with my son-in-laws. I'm really excited about what it will mean to those that if you want to be part of it, anyone can come. And if you want to find a way to be able to have confidence in how to pray for someone you care about, it doesn't have to be public. It can be just I now know how better to pray for someone when I'm with that person. And so anyone can come next Friday night. There's no cost. Just come 7 o'clock. We'll be out of here before 9. And then it's all day Saturday. We're going to provide you lunch. We're going to look after you. So just come. And then that's going to flow over onto the Sunday. And my brother Ken, who's running the training weekend, he'll be preaching next Sunday. Now, Friday was a big deal to Lauren and her family. It was a pa's funeral, celebration of his life, 92 years of age. And I'll tell you, I felt so inspired listening to his life story. And the impact of a life lived for God is very, very powerful, generationally, and you get to see it. And I've said to Coral when we got home, I said, there will come a day when this little black duck's going to have his own funeral. And it's not going to be midweek. I want it Sunday morning here in Redgum. And I'm just telling you all now, because I want you to look at what happens when a life that's lived for God, what it looks like. We tell people to live for God, then we don't see it. We tuck funerals away of really wonderful Christians out of sight during the week. I mean, family sees it, but anyway, it was special. And Carmen's husband Billy died on Tuesday, and his funeral is going to be 29th. Yes, Friday the 29th. Thursday. She said Friday. I do whatever she says. Yes. But yes, so Cora and I were at Carmen and Billy's wedding, and Carmen's asked me to help lead the funeral there on Thursday the 29th. So, yep. That's it. Yeah. Are you playing that tuning song again, are you? Yes.
Hey, who remembers, who went, like, as a child, growing up and went to Sunday school and stuff like that, and used to sing a song, Jehovah Jireh? Jehovah Jireh, my provider. His grace is sufficient for me. Well, this next song we're singing is called Jehovah, and it also it asks us to call on the name of Jehovah, which is another name for God. It goes by many names in the Bible, and it also refers to not only Jehovah Jireh, which is He provides, and Jehovah Jireh was actually the name that Abraham gave to the altar that he was called to sacrifice his son on, and so that's why it's called Jehovah Jireh. He provides. God provided the ram at the last minute to go in place of his son. Also, in this song we say Jehovah Nisi, which I'd never heard of before, but Jehovah Nisi is the name. Nisi means banner or victory, and it is the name that Moses used as he waved the banner over his army as they fought and won for God. So he provides. Jehovah Rapha, which sounds nice and Rastafarian, but it's not. It's actually a Hebrew word, and it means healer. He is our healer. And Jehovah Shalom. Shalom is one of my favourite words in the Bible. It means the peace of God. God be with you. So let's stand and sing Jehovah. He shames every idol. He reigns without rival. He goes by the name of Jehovah, Jehovah. He speaks into nothing, and darkness goes running. He goes by the name of Jehovah, Jehovah. Call the name, call the name, call the name, Jehovah. All our praise, all our praise, all our praise belongs to Him. Foes will be silenced. He's fighting for Zion. There's no other God like Jehovah, tired. His eyes are like fire. There's no other God like Jehovah, Jehovah. Call the name, call the name, call the name, Jehovah. All our praise, all our praise, all our praise belongs to Him. Call the name, call the name, call the name, Jehovah. All our praise, all
Jehovah Nissi, fight your battle. 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 Jehovah Jireh, meet your need. Jehovah Rapha, heal your body. Jehovah Shalom, be your peace. Jehovah Nissi, fight your battle. Jehovah Shalom, be your peace. Jehovah Rapha, heal your body. Jehovah Shalom, be your peace. Call the name, call the name, call the name, Jehovah. All our praise, all our praise, all our praise belongs to Him. Call the name, call the name, Jehovah. All our praise, all our praise, all our praise belongs to Him. Jehovah Nissi, fight your battle. Jehovah Rapha, heal me. Jehovah Rapha, heal your body. Jehovah Shalom, be your peace. Jehovah Nissi, fight your battle. Jehovah Rapha, heal your peace. Jehovah Rapha, heal your body. Jehovah Shalom, be your peace. is enough for me. So remember your people, remember your children, remember your promise. So your grace is enough. Your grace is enough. Your grace is enough for me. Your grace is enough and reaches out to us. Your grace is enough for me. Your grace is enough. I'm covered in your love. Your grace is enough for me.
Amen. Your grace is enough, God. You're all that we need. You are our provider. You are our peace. You are our healer. You are our victory, God. Thank you. We love you. Amen.
Amen. Good morning, Redgum. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Amy. I get to be married to this guy. He's pretty cute. But when I'm oh, hi Joel. When I'm not being a mum or being at Redgum, I get to be a part of an amazing ministry called Camp Coolamatong. For those of you who are in the room or online who don't know what Camp Coolamatong is, I thought I'd just give you a little bit of a spiel before I invite up a bunch of excellent people that I get to hang with this year.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Phil. What is it? Rider of horses? Lover of horses? What does Philip mean? Lover of horses. I think my job is crazy, far out. So Camp Coolamatong is owned by an organisation called Scripture Union Australia. Scripture Union is actually an international movement, but it locally plays out the ministry of showing the love of God to people and young children and families specifically. If you don't know where Coolamatong is, it's probably because you've never realised that about 15 minutes out of Bairnsdale, there's a small region called Banksia Peninsula. Sometimes when I ring up people and I have to give my address, I say it all and then I say Banksia Peninsula. They're like, is that near Frankston? It's like, no, there's other peninsulas other than the Mornington Peninsula. 15 minutes out of Bairnsdale, if you've been to Newlands Arm, then instead of turning off to Newlands Arm, you just keep driving to the dead end of that road, and that's where we are. So not super isolated, but a beautiful part of God's country. I don't take it for granted that where I live, because I live on site, I walk 100 metres to one bit of water and 100 metres down the hill to another bit of water. I don't live in reality. It's amazing. God's creation is stunning. But what we do at Coolamatong is, in our ministry, we have kids come on camp. We are essentially a school camp. And so if you have a child or you yourself, remember going on camp when you were in primary school or high school, that's what we do. Sometimes we have Christian schools come, sometimes independent or Catholic schools, and also a whole lot of government schools. So our ministry is sometimes explicit. We get to talk about God, talk about our relationship with Him to the campers when they've come from schools where faith is a huge part of that. But for government schools, we get to see God's love in action as we show every kid that they are worth it, that they don't have to earn respect, that they are loved for who they've been created to be, not because of what other people's opinions dictate. And it's a huge privilege. We have this notion of temporary community. For each week that kids come on camp, we're trying to make them realise that you're our family for the week. You're the people that we get to hang out with. We're not just a business churning out activities and making sure that you get to the end of the week alive and safe. So in all of that, although we minister to kids that come on camp, there's this extra element that Coolamatong has that I get to be really heavily involved in. We have a bunch of young people each year who choose to be countercultural and come and volunteer for the year in our residential internship. When the world is saying, hey, now you've finished school, you need to get some money behind your belt, you need to get some more education, you need to make it, you need to look successful, they are choosing to turn from that and answer the call of God on their life, the unique call of God for that time. Some of them have no idea what they've gotten into. Some of them have come from overseas, so they haven't had a chance to see Coolamatong in action before they sign up for the internship, and that's an even braver move, I think. So without talking any further, I get the privilege today of introducing to you this year's intern crew. Some of them love the spotlight, some of them not so much. So be gentle if they look like deers in headlights. But this year we've got 8 interns, and I'm going to get them to come and line up here. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Give them a clap. Here they come. Here they come. Nice work. Go team, you've done the hardest part. We've actually, we really enjoy introducing the interns to a range of churches in our area because Coolamatong can't exist if we don't have the support of the local churches. It's so much more than those of us who just live and work there from week to week. It's the people who rally around us, who pray for us, who support us, who ask how we're going, who invest in us as the year goes to make it the success that it is. And God moves because there is a community of people, not only in the Bairnsdale region but beyond, who are supporting us and upholding us and carrying us. So I think it's really helpful to get to know these guys. Some of them might make Redgum home this year. We really encourage them to make a church locally at home for the year so that they've got more people inputting into their life and are not in a little camp bubble. And so some of them might make Redgum home, but either way, it's really helpful for you to meet them and hear a little bit about them so that you can continue to support and pray for them. So they do know the 3 questions. Hopefully they've read the message I sent them. Yeah. They're going to tell you their name and where they're from, and then I'm going to grab the mic back and I'll ask the 3rd question. All right, here we go.
Hi, I'm Gracie. I'm from Geelong.
Hi, I'm Leah and I'm from Germany, the south part of Germany.
G'day, I'm Maddie. I'm from a little town called Balan near Ballarat.
I'm Tamika, or T. Everyone calls me T. I'm from Phillip Island.
I'm Keith and I'm from Fiji, the western part of Fiji.
Here we go. I'm Josh and I'm from the southern part of India.
Oh, hey church, I'm Jabba and I'm from southern part of India too.
Hello everybody, my name is Alici and I'm also from Fiji, but the central part of Fiji.
Good job, first task done. So there's some fascinating stories amongst this crew as to how they landed at Coolamatong. I might give you a little outline. Grace had some connection with SU through some of the other ministries that they do and heard about it, and your sister was a bit involved in a camp at Coolamatong called a games camp. I was going to say something else, a games camp, and so that's how she heard about Coolamatong. Leah was on a family holiday and the car broke down, and so there was an extra 24 hours to kill, and the family that they were holidaying, 5 days, that's got lots of time for God to move, hey? 5 days, a family that you were holidaying with, and you were throwing around, what should I do after school? I'm just waiting till she shakes her head if I get the details wrong. Good. And the other family was involved in SU Austria. And so they said, well, why don't you try an internship with SU or look into something? And so Leah Googled Christian internship and Camp Coolamatong popped up, and she looked at all our website and thought, this is amazing. This is exactly what I want to do. Okay, God, yep, that sounds great. Oh, Australia. Oh, okay, God, that sounds like a great idea. So we got to meet Leah via video chat and had a few different chats. And then she made the brave move of coming over, not ever being there before. So Maddie got a nudge through a teacher at school who happened to be Chris, our director's brother, who was like, did you not sure what you want to do next year? Hey, I know this cool place, other side of the state, that you should go to. So Maddie took the bold move of moving that far away from home, which is a big deal for you. T was actually an intern last year, and she decided to come back, so we mustn't do everything wrong. maybe like 2 days before the program started, she called me in tears, like, I think I should come back. Her mum suggested maybe she needed to pull it together before she called me, and she's like, oh, Amy's made me cry lots of times. We're good. So we're really excited to have T back for a second year and see some extra growth in the program. And then Keith and Alicia were actually nominated by the chairman of SU Fiji, and so they already volunteer with SU over there. And so they've taken the bold move of, so they were nominated and they chose to step into that, not knowing really what they were doing, but believed that the person that nominated them had their good and their growth in mind. And it's so probably it's been a bit of a shock to the system. So hopefully if we continue to have interns from Fiji, they can give them a little bit more nous about what it's going to be like. But yeah, they are such a blessing to us in making that huge move over here. And then Josh and Jabba might be familiar faces to some of you. They actually started their internship in the middle of last year, thanks to the immigration department and lots of processes. They were meant to do a full year last year, and God's plan anyway was that they start halfway through last year, and so they'll do until the middle of this year. So that's been a big journey for them also to navigate not only being here and out of their country, but actually being a part of 2 cohorts of interns and a different dynamic for each. So the next thing they're going to tell you, some of them, it's 3 words they're going to give you as what they're hoping out of this year. Some would love more than 3 words, some wish I'd said 1, but we'll see how they go. They've had a little bit of thought about this. Great.
Goodness of God.
Oh, well played.
Well, I did a little bit different, but growing, praise, and challenge.
Growing in relationships.
Growing, friendships and faithfulness.
To be able to manifest the fruit of the Spirit.
It's more than 3 words. Wisdom and faith.
I would say touch, train, transform. Touch, train, transform.
Touch, train, transform.
Yeah, 3 words.
Mine will be a sentence. It's growing in sharing God's truth with a different culture.
So we would love, Redgum, if you would pray for these crew. If you want more information about Coolamatong or about these, if you want to be kept up to date with what's going on there, feel free to let me know and I can organise that, probably through email more than anything. And we're going to hold various fundraising activities as these guys grow in their leadership by raising money to go to the Northern Territory in the middle of the year to be a part of Indigenous ministries there and see a different side of Australian faith up in the NT. So let's give them another round of applause as they go and sit down. Over to Lex.
It's a amazing thing what happens at Coola, and this influx of interns each year, and I've had the privilege of being a mentor to different interns, and Mandy was a mentor to T last year. And I do a deal with Coola, is that I'm happy to be a mentor on one condition, that the intern comes to Redgum, because that's how Joel came to us. And I felt as a mentor that was my best way to have input into their life if they're part of this village. And the interns come from different backgrounds and they have this very free choice of whichever church they're part of this year. But I would suggest Redgum has some qualities that could be worth considering. Yeah. In fact, this doesn't happen in every church in Bairnsdale. But Pam, your 60th birthday got missed this morning, so you deserve for that. And where's Janali? Janali, I tried to throw it short. Janali did a little drawing for me this morning. That's our deal. She does a drawing for me and I give her a chocolate, right? And Coral, can you give those out to those young people as a bribe? Yeah. There's not enough, so if there's any short, don't give Tamika one. Kids, I think Mandy's going to terrorise you this morning. And so, kids, you can all go and have a little adventure out there. And we're going to start with a little role play this morning. So I've sort of got two helpers that I don't know if they're willing or not, but Sam and Cam, can you guys come out here? Okay, so Sam, can you get that box over there, please, and bring it here? I'm going to set up a situation, and these guys, you actually got a microphone. So Cam, can you grab that mic? Sam, put that up here. And you can use that mic. Now, Sam, it's important that... can you get the camo... Put that camo mask and cap on. You can put the cap on backwards if you like and put the mask on the front of your face. You're going to need that because what you're doing is very dangerous. Okay, so I'm going to paint the story, right? Andy Lawrence has had a very stressful morning this morning because on her way here she got a text message that something of very precious to her has been catnapped. I think you got this photo on your... Can we put this photo up, please? I think that creature, that photo, that's proof of life. Now, I believe that cat's name is River, and River has been taken hostage, right? And the ransom is $100,000. And that was very stressful to you on the way here this morning. So you did a GoFundMe page and you've raised a total of $16 from all of Australia to get your cat back. So you've realised that you're not going to be able to come up with $100,000 you're meant to have here this morning to get your cat back, which is in here, that this hostage taker has kidnapped, right? Yes. So what we're doing is very dangerous, but we're going to send in a hostage negotiator. And in real life, you're a doctor, but just today you're a hostage negotiator, right? You've got to talk this person out of... There is actually a real live animal in here, by the way. I will show you it in a moment. You've got to talk this person out of giving themselves up, not getting the $100,000 and giving the animal back. And you've got to try to go for the $100,000. So have it just, you talk him into it. Come on, Cam, come on, you can do that. As a doctor, you've seen many difficult situations.
Hi there, my name's Cameron. I'm just here to make sure everything goes okay here, that everyone gets out of here safely. What's your name?
Bill.
Bill. Nice to meet you, Bill. Now, what can we do for you? What do you want today?
100 grand.
100 grand. What are you willing to give me for that 100 grand?
This specimen.
Now, do you know what that specimen's name is?
Nope.
No?
River.
River.
Okay. Now, did you know River has a family? They've got children. They need to take care of those children. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with this cat being taken away from its family?
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything we can get for you while we're having this discussion?
You've got to somehow get him to trust you. So what are you going to do for him to trust you? Because you're trying to give it all up. So what are you going to do to get him to trust you?
Now, we're willing to work with you here, but it's going to take a while to get that money together. So far, we've got $16. So on that rate, it's going to probably take 16 months. Are you okay if we take a little bit of time to get that money together?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, what kind of time frame are we looking at here? We're willing to work with you here.
1 hour.
We 1 hour, okay. Can we get maybe 4 hours? It's going to take us a while. We need to
Maybe
source
2.
some more. 2 hours, okay.
Somehow I don't think this is going to work, right? So maybe if you just hand back the animal back to,
In the box? or
No,
out of
no,
the box?
take it. It's in a cage. Yeah. So just maybe deliver the cage to Andy. Oh, River looks a bit different. I don't know. What happened to River?
He had a haircut.
He's had a haircut. I'm sure that was River when he... Who likes ferrets, by the way? Who doesn't like ferrets? Great. There you go. Can you look after him? Thank you. No, it's okay. We'll get rid of him. Thanks, boys. I appreciate your help there. Can you just pop it over there, Stan? Thanks. Surely there had to be some reason for that. I'm still trying to work it out. But getting someone to trust you does not start with trying to convince them that you're trustworthy or that you are right. See, the negotiator was right, the hostage taker was wrong, but trying to convince them to do the right thing, they have to trust you. And trust doesn't start with trying to show someone you're trustworthy. In fact, trust begins by someone believing that you actually understand them. If someone doesn't understand you, you will not trust them. If they don't know what matters to you, what you're feeling and why, people won't trust you. There is a real life FBI hostage negotiator, one of the world's most famous hostage negotiators for 25 years. His name's Chris Voss, and he wrote this book, and it's a brilliant book, and it's called Never Split the Difference. It's all about negotiating. And in it he writes, as I have worked with executives and students to develop these skills, I always try to reinforce the message that being right isn't the key to successful negotiation. Having the right mindset is. And when he's talking about the right mindset, he's talking about this deep empathy, this listening to learn what the other person is thinking and feeling and what's motivating them and why they're doing what they're doing. It's actually understanding the other person. And here's the point to it. It's letting them know that you understand about them. Because you may be able to understand about someone, but if you don't communicate that you understand, they'll struggle to trust you. And we do a Growing to Maturity course here at Redgum, and we're going to do another one a little bit later in the year. And we do a little role play in that, and it's called loving listening. And it's listening to really hear the other person's heart. And when Solomon wrote Proverbs 18, I think he was probably writing it to help everyone on social media. Because he wrote this and he said this, anyone who gives an answer before he hears, or some translations say listens, is foolishness and shame to him. And when Solomon used the word that is translated hears or listens, when he used the word, he used a Hebrew word, shama. And its fullest, richest meaning is understands. The one who answers without understanding is an idiot. That's basically what he was saying. And the Bible only describes 3 types of people. There are wise people, there are fools, and there are evil people, people that are just intent on causing you harm. It's foolish to respond to someone without first gaining understanding. And Solomon, he makes it really personal in that verse when he talks about that truth, and then he says, and it brings shame or reproach to you. And one Bible translation says it's both stupid and embarrassing. Now, my dad would never call someone by a nickname. Dad liked to give someone the fullest respect, and he would call them by their proper name. And I can remember introducing one of my mates to Dad. He's a little bit older than me, and his name was Warren Ross. And we just called him Rossi. And I introduced Rossi to Dad one day. And Dad put out his hand to shake his hand and says, "Pleased to meet you, Ross." That's like saying, "Pleased to meet you, Rayment," instead of Lex. Dad was trying to be noble, but he didn't understand. And so he called him by his surname instead of we'd introduced him as Rossi. And Dad had this noble intent, but it came out wrong. And James, the brother of Jesus, in chapter 1, verse 19 writes, "Everyone should be quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to become angry." Angry is a response. Answering is a response. Speaking is a response. And James is saying, listen, really listen to understand before you respond. And when Solomon, he used the word answers, the Hebrew word that he used then, it's a noble response he's talking about. It literally means to restore someone. It's answering to refresh someone. It's to bring someone back from a dark place, to help them return. But if you're going to help someone, they need to trust you. That's the starting point. If they don't feel you understand them, they won't trust you. They won't let you help them. And you won't trust someone if they don't understand what you feel, what you think, what you need, what you desire, or what causes you fear. Now, when my gorgeous Coral was about 16, 17, I was nearly 18, I was trying to win her mother's approval. She didn't have a dad. Her dad had died when she was 9. And we were out at her uncle's farm. And her mother had this little green Mazda. And I was driving it in the paddock, and she was in the back seat. And we're just going along a little track back to the farmhouse, and there was a dip down this little hill. And she says, she's in the back seat, she says, "Lex, don't go down there." What's Lex going to do? I'm 18, I'm an idiot. So I just went down this steep little bit. She's in the back seat behind me, and she just goes whack, and she hit me right across the ear, right? If you knew Coral's mum, that was so out of, but fear, right? Just grabbed her in that moment, and she didn't trust me. And I got this bang across the side of the head. Later, when I asked her what she thought about the idea of Coral and I getting married, I can remember her looking at me with this terrible, steely eyes, and she said, "Only if God changes you a real lot." Right? Because she didn't trust me, because I didn't understand what caused her fear. Dr. Henry Cloud has written this book on trust. It's a fantastic book, and in it he describes 5 essentials. They're ingredients that without trust, just it won't work. And he begins this list of 5 with understanding. I don't think I would have started with the word understanding. I think maybe I instinctively understood it, but I don't think I would have started there. But when we trust, because we're all wired to trust, we want to trust people. When we trust people, oxytocin's released, and we want to trust people, and we want people to trust us. It's a big deal when you feel trusted by someone. It feels good. But if they don't understand you, or if you don't understand them, And I have a little confession to make this morning. For the last 24 years, Coral and I together have watched on TV nearly every episode of Survivor. For 24 years. Every episode, right? And the only constant that I've discovered, who is talking what? The only constant that I've discovered in watching over that 24 years is that the people who win, they choose the right people to trust. Sometimes it's a bit of luck, but trust is like, in a game of deception, trust is actually the greatest currency of Survivor, is trust. And once someone on your tribe doesn't trust you, they will, at tribal council, try to get rid of you. I've even seen people sort of deliberately lose immunity challenge to be able to get rid of someone off their tribe they don't trust. They're just driven to get rid of them. But even more important than that is actually having people trust you. And the problem in that is that the people that win, they have people that trust them, but the person that wins is driven and motivated by one thing, getting the $1 million. And yet people trust them and help them get to that $1 million. But the motives means that the people who trusted them in the end still get burnt. Motives are a big deal. And they're the second part of these 5 ingredients that trust is dependent upon. Motivation, motives, why people do what they do. See, people can do all the right things for all the wrong reasons, and you'll get burnt. And old mate James, when he's writing James, in chapter 4, he asks this really big question. It's a relational question. It's a fantastic question. And this is what he says in James 4. What causes fights and quarrels among you? And he's writing to Jewish Christians. He's not writing to Aussies, Australians living in the outback, in the desert, opal miners. He's not writing to them. But that question applies to them just the same as it did to those Jewish readers of James and to us. And I personally know 2 outback opal miners. And they knew each other really well. They trusted each other. They worked together for years and years. They understood each other and they were motivated to help each other. And then their relationship was devastated because one of them changed their motivation from we to me. And the tragedy of the story is that it was a father and son. And when the son got a new partner, that extra person changed the son's motivation, and it all became about, instead of we, it was about them, and this big conflict happened, and they don't talk to this day. And it's just tragic. And it's what happens when we get our motives wrong. We can get burnt. And James, in writing and asking this question, he says, what causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? You desire, but you do not have, so you kill. It's not, we kill friendships, we kill family relationships, we destroy things that are precious to us. He says, you desire, but you do not have. You covet, but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. When you ask, you do not receive because you ask with the wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. In all relationships, motives are a big deal. They're a big deal to God, but see, God has an advantage. He can see what our motives are. But people can say all the right things to you, but you can't always see at the time their motives. It comes out eventually, but we can't always see it. Every day, you and I have to deal with scammers that are trying to get stuff from us. And most of the time, it's just annoying and you can see through it. But with the development of AI and being able to clone your voice or someone's voice that you love, as the scammers get a lot more sophisticated, as evil people get more sophisticated, it's going to be a lot harder. But the really painful, really hurtful times when our trust is betrayed, it's not scammers. It's someone we are friends with, someone that's in our family. It could be a business arrangement, a business deal. They're the really painful ones. And what happens in those situations, it's usually the motives, where that person is starting to care more about their interests and their needs than yours. When someone's motives are good and they're right, they care about what happens to you. They care, they understand, and they actually put your good ahead of a whole lot of other things. And when Jesus was asked on this occasion to deconstruct all of the known Bible of that time into just one sentence, he couldn't do it. He gave them two sentences and he said this: love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind and all your strength, and love your neighbour as yourself. In the days just after the fires that destroyed so much of Sarsfield and other areas around here, just in the days after that, there were churches that stepped in to help, and they posted on Facebook what they were doing to help the community. And what they were doing was brilliant, and it's fantastic, and it's great and wonderful, but that's what we should do if we are going to love our neighbour. But Jesus wasn't giving us instructions on what we should do, but why. And when he begins by how we're to respond to God, it's a list of instructions of what to do. Love God with all your... It's very clear instructions. This is what you do to respond to God. But to respond to a neighbour, which is someone in strife, someone that's hurting, someone that's in pain, Jesus didn't tell us what to do. He gave us the motivation. The reasoning behind it is to do it as if you love them like you love yourself. There's no instructions. We get to work that out. And when you love someone as much as you love yourself, your motives are pure. They're clean. They're not sort of contaminated by strings attached or something that is a little bit self-serving, even putting photos on Facebook. I have a friend, I breed or have bred and still breed birds, and I've got a whole chunk of them. Little scarlets, they're a little desert bird out of Central Australia. And I have a friend in the bird world, and every now and then over the years he would ring me up and say, Lex, I've got these really good birds. I've got this pair of birds, you've got to buy them, they're beautiful. And he would tell me all the good reasons why I should buy them off him. And I'd buy them. And they wouldn't sit on the eggs, they would pluck the feathers off their babies. He was getting rid of them because they're no good. But he would talk me into it. And after a while, I got to not trust him. We're still friends, but I didn't trust his words because had strings attached. It was manipulative. He's trying to get rid of them onto me. And it hurts from a friend, and it's not nice. And that can happen in any area of life. And sadly, it can happen in church. Encouraging people to volunteer, to give to God, to give to a church, to respond to the Holy Spirit. All those things are noble things, but they can be manipulated. And we have to be just so careful that our motives behind what we do. See, in Matthew records Jesus talking about how we respond to need, to fires, to floods, to people in strife, to someone that just needs help. He says this: don't let your left hand know what your right hand is. Don't be ignorant about what your left and right hand's doing. When I was trying to learn piano, Philip, I was really good at not knowing what my left and my right hands were doing. Had no clue. But that's not what Jesus is talking about. He's talking about our motives. And he says, not if, but when you give, do not announce it with trumpets, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues, or on the streets, or on social media, to be honoured by men. See, that Jesus is talking about the motives. Doing all the right things for all the wrong reasons. And motives are a really big deal. There are many amazing people in Redgum, and I get a little front row seat sometimes to see what people do for other people, and it's breathtakingly beautiful. I'm in awe of the quality of people in this village and what you do for each other quietly that no one ever sees. And they do it with just such a pure heart. And it's just fantastic. And even 18 months after the fires, there was a team of people here in Bairnsdale quietly helping people in our community. And 9 months after the fires, someone posted this on Redgum's Facebook page. I'm just going to read it to you. And this is what they said. Out of the blue, deliveries of firewood in a time of need and special deliveries for Father's Day for 2 unwell fathers. That's what church should be about. Thank you. What we do is important because it makes a difference in people's lives. We had the privilege of having over $100,000 go through our hands into 120 families in this community after the fires, quietly helping them. It's important what we do, but what motivates us is even more significant, especially when it comes down to the question, can I trust you? Should I trust you? There are 3 other ingredients, we're not going to go into them today, of what trust is built upon, but I'm just going to get them to go up on the screen. These are the other ones. So you have understanding as the first, the motive of what people do, their ability, their character is a big one, and their track record. And I'll just finish with this story. 2.5 months ago, someone here in Redgum lost their wallet. And it had a significant amount of money in it. And it's just been returned to them. Now, the person who did that had to be a trustworthy person. And it would have begun with them finding the wallet and then understanding someone's lost their wallet, this is a big deal to them, and seeing through the other person's eyes, understanding the other person, what this would have meant to them. It began with understanding the other person, and then they were motivated to help this other person. They could have put the cash in their pocket and still dropped the wallet back. They had to have the ability to actually get it back to the person, know how to do that. They had to have the character that would not pocket the cash. And they had to have a track record, because it wouldn't have been the first time they've been a person of integrity. They would have been living a life of integrity, or it would have been too tempting to pocket the money that was in that. See, trustworthy people It's a powerful thing when you can trust someone and when someone trusts you. Let's pray. God, I thank you that you have wired us to trust people, that every significant relationship in our life is based on trust. To relate to you is all about trust. You say that without faith it's impossible to please God, without trust, without trusting you. And I thank you that there are ways to trust. There's wisdom, there's understanding, there's principles. Sometimes, God, we just have to rely on your Spirit guiding us. Is this someone I can trust? And I also thank you, God, that even when our trust has been betrayed, you have ways to restore and heal and to help us go forward, because it can be so painful. I thank you that trust is such a big part of our life, and you want to help us grow and do it your way, in the safest way. I thank you that you are for us and you want us to trust you. I thank you for that. Thanks, guys.
Stand and sing as we sing this next song. Let's reflect on how God has proven himself trustworthy to us. All throughout history, faithfulness has walked beside me. Winter storms make way for spring, and every season from where I'm standing, I see the evidence of your goodness all over my life, all over my life. I see the promises and fulfillment all over my life, all over my life. Help me remember
great stuff. Just hang around, say good day to somebody, and we'll catch you back next week. Prayer ministry training weekend. Anyone from any church, anyone Bairnsdale, just come. It's going to be a special weekend. Thank you.